All right, another thread from Carlos. Watch Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany slaughter the scummy, condescending press while smiling gently. Link in the description. At the epic end, as she leaves that room in order to stop holding her breath, a hapless buffoon says, "You were prepared for that question." Hey, sonny boy, never ask a question unless you are prepared for the answer. These people sound like grade Z actors trying to be ironic brainiac villains. Here's the most dishonest question ever asked in the entire history of journalism. Quote, "You've used the phrase warriors to describe everyday Americans. The president is using that phrase as well. What's the thinking behind using that description? And is that basically asking the Americans to put themselves in harm's way like warriors do?" Dishonest and semi-literate, a perfect American journalist. Leftists offer nothing but negativity. Americans are culturally positive. Ergo, leftists have been losing power steadily. Obama was the exception for obvious reasons. Nobody gets to be elected solely for being the first blank president. We're done with that. The absolutely magnificent thing about all this is that the Democrats have only begun to demolish themselves. Nancy Pelosi had herself polished with carnauba wax and a power buffer so that she'd have an eerie gloss as she delivered her overjoyed announcement on the new approach to politicians and allegations of sexual assault. Go to hell, ladies! And you thought ice cream in a $24,000 fridge was a blunder. Nancy is just starting to blunder. She's made the fatal mistake of believing her own propaganda. Democrats say that Trump's supporters didn't care about the allegations against him. No. We understood that they were false. Trump is a very famous germaphobe. Such people do not put their mouths and hands on strangers, especially on strangers' sexual body parts. And Trump has no history of sexual assault or even harassment, despite being in the public eye for decades, despite being the target of blackmailers and the mafia. On the other hand, Joe Biden sexually assaults female children on national television. He has a paraphilia, a sexual fixation on something not in the mainstream. He sniffs hair. Biden also brags publicly he's not talking about his leg hair in the genuine audio clip. This is the arrogance of a man who's gotten away with everything his entire life. That is what keeps him going, the ability to always get away with it. And the Democrats have fallen into Trump's trap of going all in for Joe. Now the Obamas are getting back into the ring. They've been tricked into inflicting their toxic selves on the country again. This will make black Americans happy. Leftists simply don't understand that Trump has the common touch. He is the same with everyone. He never condescends or panders, and he says, "If I fail, it'll be my fault." Don't be fooled by his comments on the media. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that they may grow arrogant. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. The press claims that Trump is obliged to treat the utterly illegitimate House of Representatives as though it is legitimate. No. They showed through their actions that they are not legitimate. So Trump should ignore them to help the American people. Newtonian physics. If you mess with me, I mess with you. Trump is no George W. Bush. The man was in love. A picture of Nancy Pelosi. God knows what they did behind closed doors. Trump landslide in November. All as well.